Hello and welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Adam Cellini. Topping our news, the southbound lanes on I-75 near Toledo Blade Boulevard remains closed after a fuel tanker overturned on the highway. Florida Highway Patrol says it happened around 10:45 last night. FHP reports the tanker holding 8,500 gallons of fuel began drifting between lanes and the driver lost control. The driver, George Irvin, has died from his injuries. The northbound lanes reopened this morning and the southbound lanes remain closed as emergency crews assess the damage and clean up the road. The southbound lanes are expected to remain closed for at least another 5 hours. A 3-alarm fire in Bradenton forces dozens from their homes last night, and today several are left picking up the pieces of the fire and water damaged units. The apartments are located on 18th Street West, where today some residents described the experience.
In that apartment right there, that's where the fire started.
Randy Clark is one of the lucky ones. When a fire sparked in the middle of his apartment building, an elevator shaft kept the flames from reaching his unit on the end. But many of his neighbors weren't so fortunate.
The people that I've talked to that live up there said that they're all just completely, everything in there is ruined. Their clothes, their computers, everything is furniture, it's all gone.
Clark says the fire started inside one of the lower units and then quickly spread around and up into the roof. Firefighters in a ladder truck had to cut a hole in the top floor ceiling to battle the flames.
Once they cut a hole in the ceiling, a lot of smoke started coming out and some flames started coming out.
Wow.
And they just started pumping gallons and gallons of water down in there.
Water damage was the cause of most of the debris and personal items that lined the walkways on Saturday. We're told around 3 a.m. the Red Cross arrived to pass out hotel vouchers to the residents most affected.
I didn't think it would be this serious. I just passed by now and I seen it was it's pretty wild over here.
At this time, there are no reported injuries, though Clark says a few pets were lost in the fire. There is still no word on what caused the blaze. Now down in Northport, a woman has been found dead in her mobile home following a fire this afternoon. It happened in the Harbor Cove Mobile Home Park near Warm Mineral Springs. Only one home caught fire and no other homes were damaged or caught fire as well. It's unclear if the woman found was, it's unclear if the woman found was dead before the fire started.
She bought the house 6 months ago. Was not in the best health condition from what we gather. I've been here for over 4 years and that's the first time I see a house on fire. And we know when these things go on fire, they just burn like matches, you know. So it's unfortunate.
It's also unclear what started the fire inside the home. Officials are investigating and we will have more information as it becomes available. A local nonprofit is making sure some of the most vulnerable people to the Zika virus are protected. ABC 7's Kate Flexter joins us now with the details of their efforts. Kate?
Well, the Centers for Disease Control suggest covering up or wearing bug spray to prevent against the Zika virus. But those steps can be tough for one group in particular, the homeless. Volunteers from a nonprofit called the Garden of Eden Project have started distributing bug repellent around Sarasota. The product, called Mosquito Pack, is a non-toxic lotion made by a local company. The product is also being distributed to the homeless in Miami and Tampa. The homeless often live and sleep outside, subjecting them to the elements 24/7. But more than a nuisance, mosquitoes are potentially a health risk as the Zika virus spreads in Florida, leaving the homeless vulnerable.
It's the worst thing about it at night because, you know, you can't hardly cover up with a blanket or whatever when it's 80 degrees at night and the no-see-ums and mosquitoes, they just eat you alive.
It's like hardcore camping 24/7, and it makes it almost impossible to sleep when you've got bugs going at you all night. So if we can keep the bugs off the folks for a 24-hour period, that's a really big deal because that's a way increased level of comfort.
For details about the Garden of Eden project and the other types of work they do, log on to mysuncoast.com. Adam?
All right, thank you very much, Kate. Now let's go over to Wendy Ross for a first check on our weather today. Wendy?
Adam, it is still hot out there, 89 degrees for us, and we have mostly fair skies, especially along the coastline. All of the rain that has been taking place throughout the day has been developing east of I-75, and it continues to move towards the east. We're looking at those winds coming in out of the Gulf of Mexico at around 5 miles per hour. And we do have partly cloudy skies right now, but you can see the rain. It's all lined up over the central part of the state. Lots of lightning strikes here associated with those showers and thunderstorms. And most of this activity is moving away from the coastline, although we still have some patches where we're seeing some areas still getting the rain showers, especially down in Charlotte County. But as you'll notice, a lot of this wet weather is moving off towards the east, and we've got isolated pockets that are moving towards the west. So that's what's going on with a large area not getting any rain right now. And you can see temperatures for the rest of the evening going to be mostly in the 80s. So that hot weather continues. And of course, we'll be talking about the tropics and what's going on there. We'll have the rundown for you coming up in just a few minutes. Adam?
All right, thank you, Wendy. In other news, a killer on the run. Police are searching for the gunman who opened fire inside a mall north of Seattle last night, killing 5 people. ABC's Neil Karlinski is in Burlington, Washington with more.
A new view of a mass murderer.
Cascade all Burlington units. Male ran into the women's Macy with a long rifle. We're getting multiple calls.
Surveillance stills providing new evidence in the manhunt for the person seen here, who police say opened fire inside a Washington mall, killing 5 people, then escaping.
What we know right now from security footage that we've recovered is that the suspect entered the mall without a weapon. About 10 minutes later, entered Macy's with a rifle, fired multiple times.
What I saw was that there was a gunman holding a rifle, shooting, and he saw me, and I took off running.
Joe Zavala and his wife were inside Macy's when chaos broke out in the makeup department. They not only saw the gunman, but the victims too.
I found 2 ladies that were on the floor. One was face down, a lot of blood, pool of blood on the ground, and then there was another lady right next to her. I checked for her pulse. She didn't have any.
4 women and 1 man all died. It took officers hours to clear the massive mall while still searching for the suspect, but he reportedly ran out before police arrived.
Employee calling advising they are hiding in the break room at this time.
Customers were eventually bused to a nearby church. Now the hunt is on for the gunman, considered armed and dangerous. So far, no name or motive for the attack. The FBI and ATF joining police in the investigation.
People waking up this morning and their world has changed forever. The city of Burlington has probably changed forever. But I don't think our way of life needs to change.
Neil Karlinski, ABC News, Burlington, Washington.
The FBI says there are no indications that this is tied to terrorism, but agents are not totally ruling it out at this point. A large and diverse crowd gathered in Charlotte, North Carolina today for a rally organized by Equality NC. It is the latest in a series of protests and rallies following the deadly police shooting of Keith Lamont Scott. On Friday, Scott's widow released her cell phone video of the shooting. Charlotte officials said in a press conference today that they plan on releasing dash cam and body cam footage later today.
The footage itself will not create in anyone's mind absolute certainty as to what this case represents and what the outcome should be. The footage only supports all of the other information, physical evidence, the statements from witnesses and officers, and all of the other information, scientific and physical, that create the entire picture. So the video footage is insufficient.
National Guard and other law enforcement were on scene at today's rally in case the event got out of hand. It's a star-studded event today in Washington, the dedication ceremony and official opening of the National Museum of African American History and Culture. President Obama and former President George W. Bush delivered remarks. The goal of the museum is to look back and learn lessons to take forward. It comes at a time when the nation is facing questions about racial equality.
While America should ponder the pain of slavery and segregation, it also had to find the joy, the hope, the resiliency, the spirituality.
It is complicated and it is messy, and it's a story that perhaps needs to be told now more than ever. And so this museum provides context for the debates of our times.
Visitors begin their tour in the basement and make their way through the exhibits that tell a story that takes place over 400 years. Those looking to visit the museum anytime soon must get a ticket online for specific entry times. The next available tickets are for the first week in December. Still to come here on ABC 7, the battle with red tide. Dead fish are washing ashore on Suncoast beaches, and now other wildlife is becoming victim to the toxic bloom.
Stand out in your new wild Lexus. Lease a new 2016 Lexus ES 350 for only $329 or enjoy 0.9% APR, just $329, exclusively at Wild Lexus of Sarasota on Clark Road.
When you have credit card debt, the debt suckers, high rate and high pay, never leave you alone.
Debt is really sucking the life out of them. He's picking up the phone.
Oh, no, not consolidated credit.
With one call, they can lower their credit card rates.
And consolidate their bills into one low payment.
They'll pay off their debt in no time.
Call Consolidated Credit now.
Because debt sucks.
Call 800-201-0230. That's 800-201-0230. Call now.
Gold fever has once again swept the nation. And everyone is rushing to Florida to strike it doubly rich.